This kid's fire.
What's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. It is the Super Leggera FA Cup Super Preview. That's right, people. Make sure you guys drop a like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. I'm going to bring out the boys in just a second. Before we do, let's get some shout-outs done in here. Let's have a look who we got in the building. We got Palmer, Vibe, Lazula, Rodrigo's here. Big up to MCFC 0121. Erling Haaland, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, Chris Grimshaw, Dell, Ellie. Also, Ellie, please stop criticizing my grammatical situation, please. Yeah, don't need that on a Friday night. Big up to Ratters, Nafizul, KR, Georgios, Cheryl's here, Chris, Pies, George, Subhotti, Jess, Dan, Jably, Citizen. Big up to Sam again, SB, and many, many more. Make sure you guys are dropping a like on the stream. I am very, very happy with tonight's show, guys. It's going to be a 2-hour-long show. I've got NoisyPod until 9 p.m., yeah? And then at 9 p.m., Dan United's coming on as well, so you guys can roast him. But let's bring out the first guest. It is Mr. Joey.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hi, Bray. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's Friday afternoon. There's no tornadoes today, so big chilling.
always a bonus. Always a bonus.
Yeah. Really nice.
Yeah.
I'm just pumped I can finally make one of these, you know?
That is great. That is great. That is great news. For people asking who the fuck is this guy, this is Joey from the this is Joey from the NoisyPod. 50%.
True. Yeah.
Should we bring out
the jersey in the background? So fire, bro. That is signed by Paul Dickoff.
That is actually a real nice man. Let's.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
of course,
so, right?
this is gonna be the kit style for next season, isn't it?
Yeah. So I met him in Nashville and I had him sign it a couple of years ago.
I mean, you got a better background than me, bro.
Well, you know, super professional over at NoisyPod. You know, Noisy Neighbors is known for its professionalism.
I need to improve, guys. Look, I mean, we have the display and we have a cushion. Yeah. Well, one day I might invest in
cushion.
Hey, bro, allow the cushion, man. The cushion's the best thing, isn't it?
No, true. That is sick. Over on the casting couch.
Let's bring out the other 50% of NoisyPod. It is Mr. Molf.
Paul Dickoff and Joey McCune in Nashville. Talk about short kings. Am I right?
What the
Oh, I see something actually.
Molf
wins because look at the signatures that he's got.
Yeah,
Wow.
True. He paid for it though.
Oh, that doesn't count then. Sorry.
No, it's anniversary gift.
Okay. He didn't pay for it.
It was an anniversary gift.
How you fellas doing? You well? Long time no
Yeah.
speak, man. Where have you been? You been hiding from me or something, or what?
No, we're just busy with work and that. You know, we keep the podcast going regularly once a
Yeah.
week, but beyond that, it's really hard to find time to get together and do streams. So I can sometimes get away, so that's why you see me occasionally. But
Mhm.
Joey's a proper hard-working bloke. So
Mm,
I'm not in the house.
mm,
I'm usually out
yeah.
catching a little touch of heat stroke, so it's
I'd
a little
love,
tough.
I'd love a heat stroke now and again, bro. We did have a week. Although I can't be greedy. We did have a week last week that was very, very nice and very hot. So I can't get too greedy. Listen, lads. Been a crazy season, man. Joey, I mean, we won the Prem. We done the 4-peat, bro.
Yeah, standard though, isn't it? Just normal run of the mill stuff. Yeah, dude. It's. I can't believe it, honestly. Like even before the season, we talked, and I was like, sure we could do it, but no one's done it, so why would I expect us to do it? Coming off the back of the treble, and then we go into the season, you lose Kevin for a few months, you lose Haaland for a few months. But something about this team, the mentality is just different. The manager's obviously not like other people. He was put together with different parts. But yeah, the squad he's assembled, the mentality he's instilled in them, can't beat it, dude.
And yeah, I don't know if you guys seen, but today, man, what a day today. Do you think City put out that news about Pep Guardiola before on purpose? Did you see it?
the stuff from Mike Keegan.
Yeah,
I think he's going to sign a new deal.
Yeah,
because Mike Keegan is one of the best sources we have, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, do you not just think it's a little bit strange because like Ten Hag basically it gets released that Ten Hag is getting sacked, and what 90 minutes later, Mike Keegan, one of the best sources for Manchester City, said,
yeah,
Pep's considering signing a new deal.
it's Kendrick and Drake all over again. One drops, the other drops immediately afterwards.
They're not like us, bro. I genuinely think he's going to sign a new deal, and I think City.
Yeah.
I think it's probably agreed, and that City were today just like when they found out Ten Hag's been sacked, probably just said to him, "Put this news out there."
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Pep every couple years, right?
Well, this is this is the thing about with it, because like when I go on like streams and like other people's shows and they're like, "Oh, LB, what you saying about Pep leaving?" I'm like, bro, people ask me this question every year. Like, if he signs a new 1-year extension, you'll be asking me the same thing next year because the guy doesn't sign these 3-4 year deals, which would be amazing if he did. But then again, maybe it keeps him on his toes.
Yeah,
Probably keeps the club on their toes because they can't. Like when it comes to transfers, they can't be like, "Oh, we'll just fucking leave it," because he's only got a year left on his deal. Like for example, right now, he's got 1 year left on his deal. So if Pep's going to the lads, I want Bruno, I want this guy, and he's still not signed a deal, it probably puts them in a slightly weaker position to say nah, because if you're not signed a deal. Now I don't know how much that happens, but I just think it probably actually is better for the club and better for Pep that he only signs these 1-year deals. But from a fan point of view, it's just very stressful, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I don't stress about it too much. Molf?
No, I think Lewis, you're onto something there with like how important it is for Pep to be here in terms of recruitment and that. Like him having an extended deal, just makes everybody who might be interested in coming to the club more confident about coming, and those who are here already because he's here. I'm talking about like Erling Haaland. For one, I mean, wouldn't be here without Pep, I don't think. So somebody like him, who you're probably looking to extend, and others like him, is so important that he's on a multi-year deal. It just builds that confidence around everybody staying together and keeping this thing going as long as possible. So the longer you can get him to commit to, the better, I think. Although just getting him one or two at a time is okay too. But I just think it's really important for recruitment that he be seen to be carrying on. You know what I mean?
It says as well that City want him to sign a long-term extension.
Yeah. They would do. Who
yeah, I'm sure.
Well, this is what it was like when my mate sent it me in the chat. I was like, duh. You know what I mean? Like, obviously. Like, this is what
that's been a lot of people's reactions to this news today is like, well, of course, that's nothing new. Of course, City would want to extend him, but I don't know. I don't see Mike Keegan dropping that in this way,
Yeah.
just for the fun of it. You know, he could have dropped this.
Exactly.
He could have dropped this news any day over the last 2 years.
Mhm.
You know, and it would have still been true. It's just why today?
Because
So
I
yeah,
think he's been given the tip off.
yeah, probably.
I think City, seeing that Ten Hag been sacked,
Yeah.
and the deal is probably agreed with Pep Guardiola that he's going to sign a new contract, and they've said to Mike, "Get this news out." To
Yeah.
make it even worse for Man United. Show them. Does this give you any further confidence in the charges? Like, or you're not really like read too much into that? Because, you know, there's been a lot of stuff about, you know, Pep will only stay, or Pep, I know he did say that he'll stay even if we do get found guilty, but like, does this give you even more confidence? Obviously, you had told me writing about it, like
Right.
whether he knows or not, I don't know. But like, yeah, what's your view on potentially Pep signing a new deal and the charges? Does it give you any confidence?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never really cared about the charges.
Yeah. You don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit at all. Like, it's because regardless of what happens, right? If we're proven innocent, or if there's a settlement or something that happens and we pay and we take some sort of transfer ban or whatever it is, as far as public sentiment goes, the damage is already done. Everyone thinks we're guilty anyways. We could be proven entirely innocent, and what's going to come back is everyone else in the public will just say, oh, well, they've paid it off, or they've cheated the system, or whatever the fuck they're going to say. So, like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of it. I'm bored. UEFA tried. Didn't work. Now it's happening in England. Whatever. I don't care. I think ultimately what happens is, there's some sort of settlement that goes on, because if we're found innocent and the Premier League has effectively accused the big four auditing companies of fraud and been proven wrong, the lawsuit that would come from that is pretty amazing. So I don't care about the charges at all. I think Pep wanting to stay is just him wanting to continue what he's built at City, continue his legacy. And I think the Premier League's just different in that there's a different challenge every single year. And I think he likes that. If he goes elsewhere, he went to Spain, completed it, went to Germany, completed it. Where else is he going to go? I think he'd get bored as a national team coach. So I think it just makes sense that he could continue what he's doing here. And there's still other milestones out there for him to grab. And he's a big milestone guy. So I just don't think he's done.
Yeah. Well, whenever I think about Pep and like his future, I always think of sort of along the same lines of like, well, where could he go? Well, where? And the only real place that I see is like PSG, because like they've still not won the Champions League, and I'm like, the French league ain't going to move him. So is he going to go there just for the Champions League, which is hard to win, as evidenced by his time at City already?
Right.
I agree with your comments on the national team. I don't even know if he'll want to manage Spain. I've said plenty of times that England really should try and get him to manage England. As much as I don't want that to happen, that's what the English FA should be doing. Other than that, there's very little like small clubs that he could go to. I don't really see it. So unless he wanted a break. Like he had a break, didn't he, after Barcelona went to New York for a bit? Unless he wanted a break, then I think he could stay.
I've actually got a bit of an issue with talking about Pep's future so much. I feel like I'm afraid we're going to fall into a trap of spending more of Pep's time at the club talking about him leaving than enjoying him staying here. And I think maybe it's a trap we fall into with the media, that they're always trying to diminish our achievements and everything that's going on at the club. And I think one of the ways they do that is they're just constantly talking about Pep leaving, and it makes us talk about it. And I don't want to spend his entire tenure here talking about him leaving. It's almost like what happened with Yaya Toure. We spent most of the time talking about him leaving and not enjoying him while he was here. Bernardo Silva to some degree. So it is a huge topic in that, but let's just be careful, is what I'm saying, not to let him leaving dominate our narratives. You know what I mean?
I know, but the problem is it's the media speak about it so much because I guess that's all everyone's waiting for. Yeah, I speak to
Well,
Arsenal.
Well,
I
yeah.
speak to Arsenal fans, and they're just like, "Well, we're waiting for Pep to leave."
He's just a
Yeah.
massive thorn in everybody's side for
Yeah.
8 years.
Do you think he's the best manager of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do.
because he transcends things tactically as well. They've been very, very good managers with longevity. Ferguson being the main one, and he sort of redesigned that team a few times. But all of his achievements are around just being there for a very long time. Whereas Pep, but nobody really talks about Ferguson tactically, and there were really no managers out there like up and coming managers who embraced Ferguson's style and were successful with it. Like right now, you've got a lot. I mean, I see it. I see my son. I've seen him play through the different ranks, and all the coaches out there, they're all trying to be Pep, right? None of them are trying to be Alex Ferguson. We're all playing out the back. it's madness. So I don't know. I just think Pep has transformed the game, even though he's not done it for as long as, say, a Ferguson. So I think he's got more about him. If not, the only thing he hasn't got really is the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
But he has beat Ferguson twice in Champions League finals. So
And he's building that longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the middle of it. Yeah.
When he's been, I think the fact that he's won in other leagues is massive too. Like that he did it in Spain, he did it in Germany. Then he came to England when, I mean, it was more the English press, I think, that were saying like, oh, it can't work in England or whatever. And he just came in and turned the whole fucking thing on its head and was like, all right, well, I've won the league without a striker. I've won the league without fullbacks. I've won the league without wingers. What do you want me to do now? Like, do you want me to get rid of something else? I'll win it with that. Like, he's just different, man. There's nobody else like him.
That first year was insane. I remember like watching like TV and all the pundits were just slagging him off.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do this, can't do that. And he probably, do you remember when he said he doesn't practice tackling in training?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I've got them all saved in my phone.
Oh,
I screenshotted them all.
Bro, that's insane because they were so rattled by it. They were so rattled by it. And I think that's partly why a lot of people don't like him, because they proved him wrong. They proved like he's proved them wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, especially a lot of opposition fans who just like get rattled by him. It's like, yeah, it's because you said it wouldn't work. And not only has it worked, it's in the most dominant style of football we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hence the 4P.
Well, and then they become spiteful about it, right? So then they have to like dig their heels in even further about something else where it's like, well, that style won't work, or like the tackling thing that doesn't. So they just keep getting pissed off about whatever their new thing is. Then they dig their heels in on that, and then he proves them wrong again.
Yeah.
They get further and further pissed off.
He's not a one-trick pony. That's the thing.
No.
It's not the same trick every year. Like the first year when we won it, the Centurions, we were getting quite a bit of space in behind, and then teams stopped that, and Pep changed completely. You saw players leave that didn't really fit breaking down low blocks anymore, like Leroy Sané. Yeah. And yeah, he just adapted it, decided, control is what I need. And somebody said, I think it was Sam Lee said recently, when teams get back into a low block, you can't just hit them repeatedly as fast as possible. You have to like chip them out, like with multiple, like, anyway, I'm not describing it very well. The hand motions are hopefully helping.
That's my boy.
But, you got to dig them out. You have to dig them out with precise cuts.
Yeah.
You can't just hammer at them. So
I mean, the fact that Pep came to the league and turned the league into 4 teams and then 16 teams managed by Tony Pulis is pretty funny. Where it was just like, you used to be able to watch the league and be like, oh, this team plays this way and this team plays this way. And then now any team that plays Pep is just like, all right, well, low block, 5 at the back.
I mean, who are the Ferguson proteges? Who are the
Steve Bruce
successful ones?
Oh,
Ali McCoist. I don't
know. I don't know. Roy Keane did do well with Sunderland in the Championship. I think he got one of the record points, but then obviously he doesn't have the temperament, does he, to be a manager?
I wouldn't say he's got temperament.
Gary Neville set a record as a manager for one of the worst managers, as one of the worst managers of all time, Valencia. But yes, yeah, Hughesy done all right. I
Mark Hughes,
suppose.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple of others in there. But yeah, listen, it is interesting, and I just think like where else could he go? You know, and that's the thing for me. City just got to keep on making sure that he's happy. Um, you know, and I love the evolution. Like it's insane. After that Champions League final against Inter Milan, right? If I would have said to you boys, lads, in the title running next year in the FA Cup final, John Stones ain't getting in, Grealish ain't getting in. We're going to play a completely different system. You'd have been like, what? Shut up.
Mhm.
John Stones arguably would have been one of the first names on the team sheet,
Mhm.
and he can't get
Yeah.
in the team now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because Akanji's doing so well. Diaz is obviously doing well now as well. Gvardiol, who's been absolutely insane this year, in my opinion. No, obviously we don't have a left winger really anymore because Gvardiol's done it. Like the constant, this is what you guys were saying, the constant evolution of the team. And it's like, it gets me thinking, what's going to happen next year? Because I'm not
Mhm.
going into next season now thinking, oh, it'll be the same as what we're doing now.
No.
Because that's what I thought that we'd do this year. And obviously that's not happened. So like, I'm not even thinking about next year in terms of like style of play. Like we've obviously bringing in Savio as well. Like Doku's finished the season really strong. Could we go back to a winger type situation? I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
it's super exciting. And I think that's probably why it takes us a little bit of time to get cooking in the season, is because the first 6 months, Pep's just sort of like rotating, try to understand where players are at, try to understand tactics. And then by the time you get to sort of March, you know, Pep goes, right, that's the system we're running.
Yep.
And that seems to what's happened in the previous years, you know. And, you know, there's no surprise that this year we played our best football in the last 10 matches since the Arsenal game.
Right.
That's where we played our best football. And that's why tomorrow I'm like confident. We'll come on to tomorrow now. I'm confident for tomorrow because like they obviously don't know how, well, he's still technically the manager, but he's obviously been sacked after this, regardless of the result. City are playing the best football. And I struggle to see any other result than a City win unless we seriously let ourselves down, you know.
Paint me a scenario where United win the game.
It would have to be an early red card or something like that for City for me.
Mhm.
Or move, or we just let ourselves down.
Yeah, we just don't turn up.
We
Yep.
come away
Yeah.
from the game and we just go, you know what? We just let ourselves down.
Can you see that with this bunch?
Unless they've been on the piss all week, which I suppose is maybe possible given they just won the league.
Yeah.
I think they're too professional. I think, you know what I think?
Agree.
Wolf? I think they're addicted to winning.
Yep.
Yep.
Everyone
They're
says City make
sick.
yeah, bro, everyone says City make the league boring, all that shit. It's because they actually want to win trophies. They're addicted to it now. I think Pep has instilled an addiction into these players
Mhm.
that they are. It's like when Rodri speaks, and you know how Rodri's rattled all the Arsenal fans by saying,
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
it's because when Arsenal played that way against City, I reckon City would have gone back in the dressing room and they would have almost been like, we can't fucking let this team win the league
Mhm.
who didn't
Mhm.
even try and win the game. Like, I feel like City don't have as much respect for Arsenal as maybe they do Liverpool, because with Liverpool, it was always like total, that was always clashes, wasn't it? We were clashing each other. But like with Arsenal, they're a bit more like, I think Arsenal just respects us a little bit more and a little bit more cautious, which is fair, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
what the Arsenal fans got rattled about, what they failed to understand, was he wasn't really speaking necessarily about Arsenal in that situation.
True.
He was speaking about the impact that had on the players, on City.
Mhm.
And I just think the City players would have been like, we ain't fucking letting this team win, who didn't even try and win. So we will go and win our next 9 Premier League games. And that's the only way we can win the league. And that's what they did. And I
Yeah,
just feel I just think that's where we're at.
It's kind of a slap in the face. I think that's how the City players took it. Of like, okay, you're going to turn up here in the title decider, basically, and this is what you're like. You're not even going to go toe to toe with us. It's just going to be, let's play for the draw and get out of here. Whereas City players, I don't know, every match feels like a cup final for them sometimes, where they're just like, no, we're gonna stomp these. Like, we're gonna turn the screw. If we go up big, we're gonna bring on human Poznan, Sergio Gomez. Like, they want to embarrass people, right? And then Arsenal turns up and they're like, okay, if we get 3 points, the league's done. But hear me out. What if we just draw, right? What if we just take it easy? Yeah,
Didn't work
it ain't
out.
the way.
Didn't work out.
No, and that's why I think Arsenal fans get rattled by it. You know what I mean? They really don't like the situation, and But I think in time they will become aware that you've got to, if you get an opportunity. I think that's the thing as well, is they had an opportunity that day to almost kill City, because I think they would
They
have
had
done, like,
to. Yeah.
And to be fair, as much as I hate Gary Neville, right, he did say before that game Arsenal need to go for the win. And a lot of Arsenal fans were like, no, point's fine, and listen, the point was a good point in terms of just a one-off game, but maybe in context of the season, the way that they approached it, maybe wasn't the best. And again, they just got rattled, man. And these Arsenal fans, you know what I mean? And they just can't take it, man. They honestly can't.
This is a team that needs Man City. You need to literally drive a stake through their heart or chop their head off. Proper vampire shit. Seriously. I mean, this team is so dominant. Like they will chase you down like a shark. They will catch you no matter who you are. Liverpool, United, Arsenal. One of them has got to put us down. Put us down, and they won't do it.
No, absolutely, guys. Make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already, guys. Yeah. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. Get those likes up. Make sure you subscribe to NoisyPod as well on the YouTube and on the various podcast platforms.
Just not Podbean.
Oh, is this whoa, we had a bit of an argument here with Podbean. What's going on?
No,
they're not paying you the correct rates, boys. What's happening here?
They want us to pay, brother. It's a lifelong war with them. This is a blood feud, and I will never drop it. Wanted us to pay them an extortionate amount of money to host our awful show over there.
Hey, you got to pay them.
That's what I'm saying, brother.
It's an 8-year-old.
What? An
8-year-old story that drags on to this day.
Okay, so my bad, guys. On all the podcast platforms, apart from Podbean.
That's my boy, dude. That's my guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Listen, big up to Marshy Boy, who says, big up Joy and Molf. We'll thrash United 4-0. I hope Pep stays longer, and this means 4 to us. That was pretty good.
I like that.
And big up to Charlie Hamilton as well, who's just become a member of the channel. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the support. Do you guys see it being comfortable? 4-0 Marshy Boy's gone for. Do you see it? Do you see that tomorrow? Do you think it'll be a little bit more close? Because I know obviously last year we won 2-1, but there is part of me that thinks we did have the treble, obviously the Champions League game coming up. Tomorrow is it that's the last game. There's nothing holding them other than the Euros, but like there's nothing like in the immediate week. Yeah, that's like sort of holding them back. So do you think maybe City will be a little bit more freer than they were last year? Because I did feel that last year, when we took the lead, we just sort of went into a bit more control. And then obviously they got, I think, did it go 1-1? I think they got the penalty, didn't they? And then we scored. I believe that's how it went. Like this year, I feel like maybe we'll be a bit freer on the pitch.
They had a better chance at us last year. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Sure. Like we were just trying to get across the line last year. Yeah. So their chance probably to do it was last season. Just looking on the surface of things, we should win. You don't want to sound arrogant or overconfident or what have you, but I mean, that's why I asked you to paint me a picture where they win the game, because you have to go to things like awful refereeing decisions, red cards. We just absolutely don't turn up, wonder strikes, something like that. And it would probably have to be actually a combination of those things to still beat us. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think you've got to look at us as strong favorites. And I would argue strong favorites to put a few past them. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just in a weird way right now. Like if it's been announced the day before the match that manager's gone, there's going to be a lot of players that will be out the door anyways. So some of those guys are, they're fed up. They're over it. They're done. Varane's already said he's leaving. I wouldn't be shocked if there's 5 or 6 more after him that are gone. So it's just a side that you don't know who's in charge. Half the players don't want to be there or know they're leaving. I doubt many of them have much of an affinity. Yeah, you're not saving anybody.
Yeah,
like I doubt they care to give him, something to go out on a high. with
Well, we was actually discussing this morning when the news broke out. I went live and I was speaking to the chat about Ten Hag being sacked, and
Mhm.
a couple of the guys in the chat this morning were asking, LB, do you think this is going to make the game harder, or do you think this is going to make the game easier? So I guess, do you think that the United players are going to see this news and be like, we need to go out and really try for Ten Hag, or you reckon it's going to go the other way? Because the reason, and I'll get your opinion in a minute, but the reason I said I think it'll be easier is because, one, I don't really think Ten Hag seems to have much of a connection with these players. He seems like quite a cold guy. He doesn't. It's not like Pep, where he's always hugging players, and Jurgen Klopp. You know what I mean? And I know it didn't end well for Klopp, but like he's still, bar Salah and maybe Nunes. You know, everyone's still hugging him. Everyone loves the guy. Like same with Pep Guardiola. With Ten Hag, he seems to be very cold. So I don't.
Yeah.
And like you said, Joey, half the team will probably be leaving anyway. So do you think this will make it easier, or you think it make it harder, or you don't know?
I think it's probably easier because I don't know that the players have much of a connection to the guy anyways. Like regardless of how he acts, I think just the way the last few seasons have gone, then you watch their body language on the pitch when things turn south, and they kind of just throw all the toys out of the pram, and it's there's just a lot of bad vibes around there. So I don't know why at this point, like why now would they care? Why now would they try to put a shift in and all that kind of stuff? So it's just, I think, not that they're going to roll over, but I just feel like there's no scenario I can paint in which, if all things are even, they stop us. And it'd have to be something like you guys said earlier: early red card, multiple penalties. Like it has to be some outlier situation in which we lose to them. That's very rare for me to be that confident.
They're all largely mercenaries, to be fair. You know what? The big money players who, they're not playing for this manager, that's for sure. They don't really have any attachment to Manchester United outside of, I don't know if Kobe Mainoo is a United fan or what, but I mean, Rashford maybe. I don't know. It's just they don't have a spirit about them. They're not tied to the manager. If anything, if they're playing for anything, they're playing for themselves, is what I'm trying to say, the players.
Yep.
So you might see some audacious shots from 30 yards.
McTominay wonder goal from 35.
Well, if you think about it, that's what happened in the home game.
Yeah.
Yep.
We was dominating the ball. United get I think it was their first attack forward. Bruno Fernandes passes it to Rashford. He puts it in the top bins from 25, 30 yards. We still end up dominating. Then we win 3-1. But like, that's when Molf asks the question, how do we lose tomorrow? That would be how it's all. So Rashford or someone puts one in the top bins. Maybe we get a red card, and then instead of scoring 3, we miss all our chances. I mean, similar to if you think about Real Madrid at home, Molf, we dominated the game. Is that second half? Real Madrid didn't even get out the half, but we just weren't clinical. That happens again, then anything can happen. But I just think the way that we've been playing, mate, like honestly, I just think since the Arsenal game, I actually don't think we're getting the credit that we deserve since the Arsenal game. In every league game, we've played 9 league games, right? In every game, we've scored 4 goals or more, apart from West Ham, where we scored 3. Forest 2, which was a very difficult game, and Spurs 2, again, a place that we've never even scored a goal. Yeah, we're scoring goals. Our defense has massively improved. Yeah, because that's one thing that probably has been a slightly disappointing this year. Not that I think it's cost us really, but we probably could have had the league wrapped up a little bit earlier. It's just the defending, like some individual errors throughout the season. But I think since the Arsenal game, Ruben Diaz has been a lot better. He's probably played his best football since the Arsenal game. Our defense has improved, and we're scoring more goals. So it's no real surprise that we ended up smashing everyone and winning 9 in a row, because our defense is playing the best it's ever played this year, and so's our attack.
And obviously Haaland at a really bad time.
Oh, of course.
Really
Haaland, by the way, Haaland looks, since he's come back from that injury, which was in January, the last 4 or 5 weeks have looked like he's been perfect, because he was definitely injured, lads.
He loves nothing more than scoring against them as well.
True. Genuinely hates him.
Yeah.
One of us.
Yeah, I just think, look, listen, City have obviously got the parade on Sunday as well. And I just think that City players, they don't want to go to the parade on the
Yeah,
back
having
of a
lost
loss.
that,
And I
yeah.
just
No.
think like City will see this as a double/quad. Because obviously we have already won 2 trophies earlier on in the season. And I just think they'll get the job done. I
Agree.
just think they're too professional. I just think that these players, they don't have. Listen, everyone has a mistake, but what they don't have is not being professional
Yeah.
or underestimating opposition. I don't think they ever underestimate opposition ever.
The other thing going on is it's a cup game. United can't play for a point here. They
Yeah.
have to come out and play. So there'll be no. I don't think there'll be any, bunkering in and just trying to keep us out for 90 minutes and
Unless they do.
counterattack.
Unless they do what Real Madrid did.
Oh, play for pens.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
They're not Real Madrid, though, are they?
True.
I actually think that their best
Used to be.
their best strategy would be to play Ollie tactics,
Which
and
was.
which was just sit back and counter attack.
Oh, okay.
And that worked quite a lot for Ollie. He did quite well against City, didn't he? He won quite a few games, and basically all the goals were just counter attack goals with Rashford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, apparently, they reckon Rashford might be on the bench tomorrow. I mean, if he's on the bench, I think that's great news for us. Even though I don't rate him, our vulnerability, as we all know, is pace in behind. We play such a high line.
There's so much. We sorted it out though in these last few weeks. This Kovacic next to Rodri thing, and Bernardo there sometimes. The no wingers thing. I think if we play that, I don't think we'll get counter attacked. It may be famous last words, but
true. Yeah. Counterattack incoming.
I feel like in this moment we're at our best at defending those things. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I agree, but I still think that is probably their best way at striking us. I do agree 100% that we're definitely less vulnerable on the counter attack, and I think all the stats prove that since we've gone to this system, we're being less vulnerable. But I still think that would be their main threat. I would rather see Haaland up front for United tomorrow than Rashford, because I just think
we can play balls out. Like, we got no game next week.
Yeah.
We can just play, run ourselves into the ground and then take the summer off. So,
no, 100%. Danny says, remember Wigan, players can't relax tomorrow.
Yeah. True.
See, what angle are you coming at that from, Danny? Are you coming at that angle from you're comparing Manchester United to Wigan, i.e. United are on Wigan's level, which is maybe a fair comparison? Or I don't know. There's multiple angles I can come at this super chat.
But wasn't Mancini gone already?
Yeah.
In the Wigan one? So wouldn't United be, you know what I mean?
City in that role.
This is why I'm like, well, even then, we lost that day. So that's a good super chat. Big up to LB as well. Said we clawed back at -12 goal difference on Arsenal. Yeah. Nah, like I say, since the Arsenal game, I don't think we've got the credit that we deserve.
Don't forget, these needed penalties to get past Coventry in the semi. You know what I mean? They almost lost.
And was that offside?
So tight.
Look,
was that offside?
American legend Haji Wright. What are you going to do? How do you stop that? How do you stop that guy? U.S. Haaland, basically. Same.
Jesus. Yeah, they were so unlucky that day, Coventry, man. I would have been sick to play them as well. Yeah, it's crazy. Would you guys stick with the sort of same team? Because I was on a stream today on another show, and they said, do you think we should be starting Jamie Doku? Because, of course, Doku started against West Ham, which I think came as a bit of a surprise to a lot of people. Certainly came as a shock to me, because I just thought he'd played the same team. What are you guys saying in terms of the team lineup for tomorrow? How would you guys sell?
So if Doku plays, I think Kovacic is the one that misses out, right? And that all comes down to whether or not Pep thinks we need that extra layer of control, having Kovacic next to Rodri. If he doesn't, if he looks at this United side and he's not worried about the middle and we can play through them and we don't have to worry about them playing through us, then yeah, Doku starts, and whichever wing he's on, somebody has to deal with him. And in the form that he's in right now, I don't know that there's much you can do. I'm not really bothered one way or the other if he starts. I think if he starts, great, because I think he's going to give somebody a problem. If he doesn't start and it's Kovacic and Rodri in the middle, it's probably more space for Phil and Kevin, which is a horrifying thought if you're a United fan. So I'm good one way or the other, but I wouldn't be shocked if he started. Not at this point.
I think you're right, Joe. We're okay one way or the other. Like, it's not a. I think it all depends on how deep Pep thinks that Ten Hag's going to set him up. Like, Jeremy Doku was clearly Pep's low block buster. You know what I mean? Like, I think he expected that from West Ham. He got that, and Doku had a great game. Was very influential. It's just whether he thinks United will play the same way or not. And it is. It's just literally, is it Doku or is it Kovacic? I'm happy with either.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't see a world in which Ten Hag gets his team to like press high and play.
No,
I just think that is just no. He could.
That means Doku, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What if Ten Hag plays open football and that goes for it?
No. If you said you don't see a scenario where Pep thinks Ten Hag's going to press high, that means Pep would probably go for Doku, right? Because they're going to be deep. Is that what you're saying?
Well, essentially, yeah. I said it the other way around, but yeah, essentially, yeah. So if you don't think, because I do not see Ten Hag playing attacking football. I think he's going to sit there and play counter-attacking style. I think that's the only thing he can do, right?
Yep.
So in that case, yeah, maybe Doku is the best thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think there's a pretty realistic scenario in which United come out in what is essentially a 5-5-0 or a 4-6-0. You know, I think there's a scenario where they're that defensive, where they're too scared to throw anybody up top, and they go false nine or whatever you want to call it with whoever the most advanced player is, but they just try to clog every single channel so we can't play through them. But we've seen that in the past with other clubs, and I just don't know. I don't know if they have the players to do that. You know, like you don't got the facilities for that, big man. Like,
I can see him maximum getting 2 goals playing that way, but we'll score 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how it feels.
Honestly, man, I just do not see a world in which we lose tomorrow. I'm getting my chest out, man. I just can't see it, bro. We got Phil Foden dropping 10 out of 10 performances. Haaland looks like Haaland is back. KDB is fit and fresh and ready to go. Rodri's been playing the best football since we got knocked out of the Champions League because the guy's actually had a break. Bernardo the same. You know, Diaz is defending proper. So I'm just like, how can that all just go wrong tomorrow? I just can't see it, bro. You know what I mean? And if it does, then shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what's happened there.
Well, as long as the players don't look past them, we're fine.
Yeah.
That's not on us. We can't underestimate a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's for the players to worry about. You know, we can look at the team's form, the players, you know, what's going on and make a logical conclusion about how we think it's going to play out. And I think all logic points to a comfortable City win. As long as the players don't think that way, we're fine.
Yeah,
this is one of the few times ever where it's a derby or a cup final and I'm not just completely spazzed out. Normally before this, I'm a wreck. Going into this, tranquil, like I'm more chill than I've ever been.
I'll let you know tomorrow about 5 minutes before kickoff, LB, if he's still.
Yeah, but usually right about now it's already set in. You know, like going into West Ham, I was nervous around this time. I think Friday night or Saturday afternoon or something. And here we are under 24 hours away, and I'm just chill. And even talking about it and looking at who they're likely to play and the Ten Hag news and just everything around it. They just look dead.
So I'll ask each of you, when were you most nervous this season?
Spurs.
Yeah.
Spurs.
100% Spurs.
Not any of the Champions League stuff.
Spurs.
Spurs, and then 1A was before West Ham because we talked about it on our show. I told Molf when the first goal went in against West Ham, for some reason I got QPR vibes. And I was like, oh, Christ, like something's going to go wrong and we're going to have to claw this thing back at the last minute. We didn't have to, thank God, but this does nothing to me. Like this match doesn't get me anywhere close to any of that.
Spurs was grim, man. Spurs one of the most
Yes.
yes. for a long time. I'll tell you that, a long time, man. I think we never scored a goal there in the Prem.
Yeah.
We have to go there and win. And we was being gaslit by all the Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, you'll smash them. They won't even try." And we all knew that was BS, man. You know what I mean? The players weren't just going to go out there and not try. Obviously, they would have tried. In fact, they'd probably try harder to prove to everyone that they were trying. And that's exactly what happened in that first half.
They were good.
Decent, man.
Gaslit by Arsenal fans and Spurs fans, weirdly enough.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Lads, before we wrap up, I want to get your take on the news that's coming out about Bruno Guimaraes. We do have a couple Toon fans in the chat, so Geordies, you're not going to like this part of the conversation, but we have to have it because this is not a Newcastle channel. Bruno's release clause can be paid in 3 installments. The priority of Bruno is to stay in the Premier League. His release clause is open to any Champions League team. This is apparently now been confirmed as well by Fabrizio. What's you guys' take on Bruno? Do you think he's good enough for City? Do you think he's good enough to start? And also, what's you guys' take on Matheus Nunes here? Because I don't know if you've just seen the news just before we went live. Graham Bailey has said City are looking to offload Matheus Nunes.
We called that one. We called the Nunes thing. We talked about it a little bit on our show. Basically, what we said was we wouldn't be shocked if Nunes was at least available for a loan this summer, because even when we signed him and as the season's moved on, I don't know where he fits in at City. Like, I don't know what his role is. I don't know what I don't know what the point is. I think he is a good player, just not for what we do.
Right.
And he's just a man without a position. So yeah, not shocked by that. I'm okay with it, even if we lose a little bit of money on it. I think it's better to just have a clean cut on that and move forward.
It was such an obvious panic buy, wasn't it? Like, maybe
yeah, it was a bandit.
But I'm exactly the same as you, Joey. I'm a bit gutted, really, because I actually like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's really exciting. I just think he's joined the wrong club. Everyone talks about Haaland joining the wrong club, which is a load of nonsense. I actually think Nunes was. I think he would have been better at Liverpool. I think he would have been better at Liverpool. It would be interesting to see, would Eddie Howe want Nunes at Newcastle? Because he's a good player.
True.
But
Straight
the Newcastle fans in the chat, don't act like he's not a good player. He's a good player. I wonder if Newcastle might say, right, well, if we're losing Bruno, we'll take Matheus Nunes as well.
Yeah.
Makes it easier for them.
Yep. As far as Bruno goes, I think he would do really well at City. I just don't know. Is he one of the 8s? Is he a 6? If he's a 6,
I think he just
when is he playing?
He's doing Kovacic.
He's doing Kovacic. Well, then what's Kovacic doing?
Well, Kovacic should become a squad player.
You know what I mean? Like,
but Kovacic goes to be a squad player, which is what he should have been anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, had we got our transfers sorted in the summer last year, we would have had Jude Bellingham and Kovacic would have been a backup, like a squad rotational player.
Yeah.
But in the end, we didn't. Kovacic become the main guy, and actually, you got to put your hands up and say, fair dues. Kovacic was actually done.
Yep.
He was one of the main guys.
Kind of.
He possibly was the main guy. But yeah, I just think Kovacic becomes a squad rotational player.
Yeah.
Bruno becomes the Gundogan.
Yep.
Kevin De Bruyne is not going to be playing every game next year. Yeah, I mean, you've got to really pick and choose what games Kevin De Bruyne plays next year. Because for me, you've got to give Foden the keys. And of course, there's going to be more games next year as well. Rodri, you need to cut his games by about 20%, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he can't
continue.
It's no surprise to me that sort of when we played the Real Madrid games, those sort of area, Rodri wasn't really that great. Why? Because he was knackered.
Rodri, you dick!
Oh yeah. Did I ask you why did I say that?
He made a poor back pass
in his first season.
Listen, everyone gets the smoke, man. You know what I mean?
It was very in the moment, very passionate in the moment. You know, very entertaining.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as Bruno goes, I think the issue is as fans is we all try to figure out, who would be the best player for City next season and all this. There's no telling what Pep has in mind next season in terms of how are we going to play, because we all thought coming off of last year, okay, it's going to be that same 3-2 setup, box midfield, and that's how it's going to go. And we come into the season. We only played that a handful of times, I think, and we end up just playing more or less like a 4-2-3-1, just kind of back to basics, and that was it. Who knows? And next year, Pep might have made up some crazy new formation and some entirely new system of play we've never seen before, where he manages to kind of shoehorn Rodri and Bruno and Kevin and Phil all in there somehow, and makes it work. And we're like, oh, this guy's fucking genius. How did he figure this out? And it's something we've never seen.
To be fair, we've been pretty lucky with injuries.
Yeah.
Over this, this 4 in a row thing. Obviously De Bruyne, but Phil came in, Alvarez did a job for a bit, but I think the squad could be all right to grow 1 or 2 players. I think, like you mentioned, the extra games we're going to play at LB. So, yeah, I think Bruno coming in and Kovacic maybe moving to that backup maybe he was intended for when we first got him. I think it's fine. But we need to find. For me, we need to find out where are we going to get more time for Bob and Lewis. Is my thoughts, because Lewis, I don't know if he's a right back anymore.
No, it's not.
No. Well, do you guys think with the new setup in the Champions League next year, do you think this is the year that Pep finally has to adopt a larger squad? Like, he can't carry this kind of bare bones 23 guys and that's it.
I think Molf is probably right. You probably need 1 or 2 more. So if Nunes goes, Nunes really wasn't a squad player anyway this year.
No.
Yeah, he played like 800 minutes, right? Or something like that. So you bring in Bruno, automatically, you're kind of gaining a player there, right? Because Nunes was not trusted at all. Yeah, he was not trusted at all. And as well, because he can play 6 and he can play in the more attacking position as well, it's sort of like you kind of get more than a player, if you know what I mean, because he can play in multiple positions. The one for me will be if Bernardo Silva leaves, which obviously we all know about his release clause. I don't know if you guys seen, but the Football Insider had an exclusive yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
The exclusive was that Manchester City will let him go if we get £50 million offer.
You mean if the terms of the contract are met?
Oh shit! Is that what it is?
That's
Joey?
crazy.
Oh, damn.
Holy.
No way. Oh damn! Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, so they got the exclusive there. But if he leaves, because of course we've got Savio.
Yeah.
Do you think that we could potentially? And this sounds pretty crazy. It's a brave call, not one that I would probably be mad happy with. But if Pep thinks it's fine, then I'll probably back it. Is if Bernardo leaves, could you run with Savio, Bob, Doku, Grealish as your wingers?
Probably,
do
but
you think Bob's good enough to be that's quite a big step up for him because he will get game time?
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably good enough. I think if Bernardo leaves, if Savio comes in, that's great, but I still think you're 1 player short of actually replacing Bernardo, because Bernardo isn't just a winger. Like, he's also kind of an everything man in the middle. Yeah. So, yes, you'd replace his spot on the wing, but then what do you do in those matches when Pep relies on him in the middle as just a shuttler next to Rodri? And I think that's maybe where you get into, you bring in a Bruno or you bring in somebody else to fill that role. But I think replacing Bernardo is a 2-man job, because you can't. I just don't think there's many people of that profile in the world that can do everything.
But do you think then, okay, so do you think if we get Bruno and Savio, is that the 2-man job then?
Probably. I mean, I think Savio still, I mean, yes, he had a great season in La Liga, but I think it's still an unknown commodity a little bit, because we've all seen the 1-season wonders, right? I think you'd have to roll with, like you said, you'd have to have 4 or 5 players deep on the wings to make sure you could take care of whatever scenario we were up against, because those are all very different players. I think Jack, Savio, Doku, Bob.
Oscar.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. I think Bernardo is one of the trickier players to have to replace.
Yeah, I actually
in a
think
while.
Paqueta would have been almost the perfect him or Valverde. I think would have been the perfect
Yeah.
replacements. But Valverde, apparently, they might make him captain next year at Real Madrid.
Wow.
Yeah, because Nacho's retiring, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think we're going to be able to get him, and obviously Paqueta's been banned. So
Yeah.
the two players that I said were most likely, it's not going to happen, annoyingly. But
Give me Olise, honestly.
well, you know something about him though. I don't like footballers who don't enjoy football.
Mm.
You know Balotelli.
Okay.
I love Balotelli, right? But like
Yeah.
sometimes when he score a goal, I'm like, oh fucking hell, mate. We just celebrate. You know what I mean? He just rifled one into the top corner. Yeah. And he just, crack a smile at least. And it's sort of like, as a fan, I know that's just him, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, Olise just doesn't look like he enjoys football. And I'm
Maybe he
like,
just doesn't enjoy football at Palace. You know?
maybe.
Like
Maybe,
maybe tail end of the season it was fun, but imagine you're like a baller in your young 20s, and then it's like, all right, here's Roy Hodgson.
yeah. Let me ask you a
Yeah,
question, actually. I asked this question to the chat either today or yesterday, and they kind of cooked me. But Cole Palmer, would you go back in for him? 85 million?
I mean, does a bear shit in the woods? I mean, of course, I would take him back. I think the bigger issue there we don't really know the ins and outs of how, in terms of like just personal relationships, were when he left. Like, he wanted more playing time and everything, but was there any animosity or bad blood between him and the coaching staff or anything? Like, I don't know.
I don't believe so.
We're not privy to that.
No, I don't believe there was.
I hope not. I mean, if there wasn't, and that there's a door open there, I mean, it's a dream scenario.
My understanding, and this is the rare information I get, yeah, because I'm not an ITK, but this is a very, very strong ITK, yeah.
Yeah.
I got told from a very, very good source that he was told by the club when Mahrez left, he'd be next in line. And when Mahrez left and we were signing Doku, I think that spooked him. Because if you remember correctly, Doku played on the right for Stade Rennes most of the time. So he's looking at City saying, hang on a minute, you told me I was next in line. Now you're signing a right winger, Jeremy Doku, for 50 million quid. I'm out of here, boys. But actually, as it turned out, Doku hardly ever played on the right this year. He played on the left. Right. And I think that might have spooked him.
Who was your source? Gep Pardiola? Or who's
How do you know him? Yeah, it was him. How did you know him?
I've got sources everywhere, brother.
Yeah.
I've infiltrated.
I'm so pleased for him. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased. We're big fans of him on our podcast, and I actually was tuning into Chelsea matches. Like, when you have the choice of who to watch, if City aren't on, who do I watch? If he was playing, I was watching it because he was that good, And my son struck up a bit of a bond with him when he came through Texas. Was it last summer? Yeah. Yep. So he's a favorite in the household anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him back, but I think for him, he doesn't need to come back. He can just can ball out wherever he wants now. So
yeah, your kid's got a better bond with Palmer than he did with Mahrez.
Yeah, well, he didn't have the opportunity against Palmer, so
yeah. Molf's kid nutmegged Mahrez.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
he disrespected my goat.
He did. I'm sorry, pal. No, love Cole Palmer. I think early in the season we sort of ranked the wingers and like Pep's favorite wingers, and no winger was ahead of Cole Palmer on the depth chart, so to speak. And you saw at the end of the year, he would rather play with no wingers sometimes. And like you said, he saw Doku coming in, he saw Pep going without wingers sometimes, and he's just going, I've got really no evidence over my 3 years here that outside of Carabao Cup and Super Cup and all that I'm going to get much time. And on a whim, he might decide that playing without wingers is our best way to win. So he's like, I'll go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm happy he's doing well as well.
Yeah.
Listen, boys, I want your score predictions, man. How you think tomorrow's gonna go? Are we slapping them up or what?
Yeah, fuck it. Give me a 4-1 City.
So
just to clarify.
I just throw Dan in at this point. Hi, Dan.
Oh, hey, friend. I don't know if you heard me. 4-1.
Yeah. Let's have it. Let's have it. What else can go wrong today? Let's fucking have it.
We just trust the process over here, you know? I think that's important.
I'll go for a famous scoreline.
Oh, no.
I'll go for a 6-1. While Dan's here.
Interesting.
You're mean.
I've got an hour of this.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Right, lads, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you guys for jumping on. Big up everyone in the chat to Joey and Molf from the NoisyPod podcast. Find them on all podcast platforms, including Podbean. Their favorite podcast app, actually, apparently they told me. So
crap. Thanks, LB.
Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your night, lads. Appreciate it.
Yep, you too, buddy. See ya.
See you later, lads. Well then, right? Let's get to cooking. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
You all right?
How are you? Yeah. Having a lovely day, mate. Another day, just when you thought that this club couldn't sink any lower. This is what we see. This is what we have. Do you know something? I said, I'm so glad this season's over. I'm so glad that we don't have to worry about any of this mess now. We can get the FA Cup out of the way and let's just start again. And then, they're going to do it again. Brilliant. Magic.
It appears that you have more than one leak at Old Trafford, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
Did you like that?
I don't know. I did. I'm sure you've got more.
That was just come to my head straight away.
Be very careful, LB. We're sharing a room together in a few weeks. Just remember that.
Whoa! You have to explain. Whoa!
Oh, dear me. Oh, mate, what a horrible day. Like, for you guys, you must be absolutely fucking chilling with this.
I just can't. To be honest, bro, I actually called this. Did I call it? I can't remember which stream I called it on, but I called it on a stream and I said it will come out that they've sacked him before the FA Cup final. I can't remember. Did I say it on 12th man or was it? Do you remember?
I think you did. I think you did. It was the week that I decided to say, right, let's give him another 12 months with the new backup, the new setup behind, and lo and behold, this has happened. And I'm worried, mate. I'm worried for many reasons. I'm worried what this sends out to any manager that's going to want to come near United, and I'm also worried as to who they're actually thinking of bringing in, because I think it's going to be McKenna. I honestly think it's going to be McKenna. You know,
what's the odds? Let's have a look.
I bet he's up there now.
Next manager odds favourite is McKenna.
It's just bizarre, LB. It's just bizarre. Like, I just don't. I'm terrified. Like I've said before, though, I don't know if you remember me saying, I think this has everything to do with Ten Hag and the transfers. I think they've come in and they've said, right, Bernardo, Ashworth when he gets there one day, and Wilcox, they are going to be the people that go out there and source the signings they want to bring to Manchester United. And Ten Hag's gone, nope, that's in my contract. I have full say. And I think this is it's the only thing I could think of, because why now? Do you know what I mean? Why now? After some of the performances we've seen this season, why all of a sudden now? I just don't get it. I don't get it. And like I said in our chat, mate, I'd have much rather seen McKenna have a season with Ipswich in the Premier League. I'd have much rather him have that experience. We're going to be throwing this guy in at the deep end. And I tell you what, he's obviously got to back himself, with all of the trouble we've got going on in the background with the players. Some of the atmosphere there still isn't great. He obviously backs himself, and he's obviously highly rated. But I don't know, mate. I'm terrified, absolutely terrified.
Well, here was my thinking behind the whole Ten Hag getting sacked before the FA Cup game, right? And I never said he'd get sacked before. I said they'd announce that he's leaving and then give him the final. My thinking behind it was quite simple, and it was that these guys who are now in charge of Manchester United are not dumb. They know Ten Hag is a fraud. I've called this guy out for a long time, man. You know what I mean? If you remember at the start of the season, me and you was having debates about him. I've always thought he was a guy's a fraud. And these guys know what to talk about. And they won't say, oh, well, if he wins against City, we'll let him stay. If he doesn't, then that's not how they operate. These are elite level, like, board members, you know what I mean? And they've made the decision up. And at the end of the day, yeah, like, they've probably been respectful to Ten Hag. I assume Ten Hag already knew before the leaks come out today, because I imagine that's where the news has come from, that Ten Hag has been told, no matter what happens, you know, against City tomorrow, you're gone. And obviously now it's just been leaked. And I just feel like
it's so true, mate, because you look at him in the press conference, he looks defeated. Like, he's normally quite bullish. He's like, I'm just focused on tomorrow. We've seen him come out several times when he's firmly believed he's going to be there next season and say, well, no, I'm going to be here. This is, you know, it's not even in my head. The press conference I saw today, he just looks defeated. And God, I tell you something, as much as he has been, and he hasn't been great. We know that. I've been very vocal about that on several occasions. There are players in that club that will be doing this. That's another one gone. We've seen another one off. Right then, who next, lads? Right, we'll do what we normally do. We'll have 6 months where we tear it up and we look the dog's bollocks, and people have, you know, those ideas of, oh my God, well, if they build on this next season with a couple more, they'll be brilliant. And then they'll just throw it again. And look, the conversations me and you've had before, and newsflash, people watching, a City fan agreed with a United fan when I said, I don't want De Zerbi, I don't want people like that. But unfortunately, the managers who you do want to come in and clean this mess up, they're just either not available or they're not around anymore. They're not there.
Yeah, I think as well for me, it's like United needs to get rid of half the players in that team. McKenna coming in, because apparently McKenna's, the rumours from the McKenna camp I've seen on Twitter before is that basically he's saying that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Is it? And I get that, you know, he's at Ipswich and he's being offered the Man United job. It's kind of like Vincent Kompany at Burnley, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Burnley gets relegated with Burnley, now he's been offered the Bayern job. Like, as much as he wanted to stay at Burnley and be loyal to them because they were loyal to him by not sacking him, you just can't turn that down. It's the same with McKenna.
No.
But McKenna, if McKenna goes in there, yeah, from a McKenna point of view, he has to make certain demands from the board. The demands that he's got to make is, you've got to get the toxic players out of the club, in my opinion. And number two,
100%.
Dan, he has to get the agreement from the board that next season will not be pretty, but it's a process that you're going to have to go through. You know what I mean? He's got to basically say to the board, if in February next year we're sat in 10th, what are you doing? Are you sacking me?
Yeah.
Because that could happen, Dan, because next year it's like, you've got to start the process of getting these toxic and getting these players who are not good enough out the football club. And by doing that, you're not going to get them all out in one summer, as you well know. Then you've got to bed new players in as well. Are all the transfers going to hit it off straight away? Probably not. It's an incredibly tough job. As bad as Chelsea are right now, I think Chelsea's an easier job to do at the moment than United. Because whilst, I think the board at Chelsea will be more difficult to work with, at least you kind of know where you're at with them. Like, you go to Chelsea, you know that you've not really got any say in the transfers, right? But you've got a decent squad there. It's not the best squad in the world. You've got a decent squad, and they're going to buy more players. You're probably going to get Osimhen or someone like that. Whereas at United's just a mess. It's a complete mess, bro.
Yeah. Do you know who else is coming back now? 100%. Sancho will be back now. Sancho will come back and have another crack at the whip. And I started to have a few concerns about this Ten Hag thing, because it broke last week that Sancho had bought a new house in Manchester. That's that was going out there, and I thought, I just hope, and I mean this when I say this, regardless of people's thoughts of Ten Hag, I just hope that INEOS haven't spoken to Sancho and said, if you come back, we'll get rid of him. I hope that is not the case, because they've talked about Jason Wilcox having a solid relationship with Sancho from the City days of being in the under-18s. They've talked about that. They've talked about it several times that Sir Jim's a real big fan of Sancho. I hope to God that it isn't something like that, because for me, the thing with Sancho that I absolutely it makes me despise him even more was when you hear the Borussia Dortmund manager come out after that game against PSG and say Sancho is someone that you have to make allowances for, and it's more about getting the squad to understand that. That's absolute nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. So yeah, I firmly believe now that Sancho will start the season at Manchester United next season.
100%.
His best mate Rashford will be given another chance now, because he will be in the owner's ear saying, "Oh, when McKenna was here, I got on really well with him. He's someone that I felt got a really good side of my game out." So he will stay. Bruno, as much as he divides opinion, I think it's shown the 2 games we didn't have him just how much we do rely on him, regardless of his attitude. So he'll stay. But then it's who. This is the next question: who comes in and wants to play for McKenna? Like who says I'm going to Manchester United and I'm going to Manchester United, lads, but I'm going to be managed by a coach who was 2 years ago in League One.
I can answer that question. One, players who are at smaller clubs and are not being linked with moves to Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, where it's still like, okay, well, no one else wants me, and Man United is still a massive club, and they're going to pay me decent money.
Yeah.
Or the second option is you just pay incredible wages, which you have done over the years. That's what I see. But apparently, I've also seen rumors that apparently, like, you've not got that much to spend anyway, because again, you're bored.
I think what we're banking on, I think what the club's banking on, what I'm banking on as a fan, is the fact that the outgoings will allow spending. So obviously, the money spent on wages is a massive one. I mean, two players straight away who are leaving, Varane and Martial, that frees up like 600k a week. LB.
That's crazy.
But it's horrendous, mate. Who else goes? We could go on a list of who leaves Manchester United, who we think should leave Manchester United. Casemiro, if he goes, he's on 350 a week. So the 3 players alone, that's nearly $1 million a week on wages. And to your point, what you said before about, or do they go out there and overspend? Well, INEOS have kind of said that that's not the way they want to do it. So your first point probably makes a lot more sense, in the sense of they will go out there and get these smaller players, and they will go out there and get these players that are more of a project, who could hit form, hit their development and be incredible. So I'm not sure. It's a tough one, but as a Manchester United fan at the moment, I just don't see how McKenna comes in, grabs hold of the players that we've got, and makes us a better team. And yeah, like you said, you could have the agreement, okay, if I'm in 10th this time, in February, what do you do? But we all know how fans are, mate. Regardless of what INEOS say, they're going to have to be strong, because the fans will voice their opinion. And make no mistake about it, I honestly think this appointment will be the biggest division we see with Manchester United fans, because honestly, I think you'll get the diehards that will say, we'll give them a chance, but you'll get the other ones that will say, this is bullshit. We're Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's a worrying time. It's a worrying time.
Yeah, I just think that, like, for me, the club's just gone too far where you can't just fix it with a bit of tape. I think over the last 10 years, like the managed decline of your football club, you've always been able to sort of fix it with a bit of tape. Like, you've still won trophies. You won trophy last year. You got
100%.
You got a final this year. Mourinho won 3 trophies, etc., etc. But I think it's gone so far now that, like, I just think it needs completely ripping up and starting again. And maybe that's why they're looking at someone like McKenna. Like you said, though, McKenna, though, that is brave. It really, really is, because, like, to get a Championship manager, I know he's technical, Premier League manager, let's get it right, but you know what I mean? That is, especially like when De Zerbi's there. De Zerbi is at least, people in the Prem know who he is. Like, a lot of people probably never heard of McKenna until about 2 months ago. I didn't. You know what I mean? So it's a brave move, but I think you've just got to trust the board, bro.
Yeah. 100%.
What else can you do, man?
Well, this is it. I mean, to go back on that, you can literally say Manchester United have tried everything, in the sense of bringing in a big name manager like Jose. Okay, bringing in a manager that's close to the fans' hearts. spending the money on these big players, bringing them in on stupidly big wages to try and fix it. Who knows? I mean, look, in 12 months' time, I could be sat here, saying that was such an inspired appointment. Yeah, okay, we finished in Europe. We've played the brand of football's better. The harmony in the squad. But the thing is, at the back of my mind, always, LB, with all of these players in that squad that are still there, the thing I'm always going to be terrified of is that what happens next season? They've had a good season. Will they down tools again? And I suppose this comes back to character. The signings that they bring in now, they have to be not only the right ability, but the right people, because we can't keep seeing this. The leaks that are coming out, I would bet anything that it's the likes of Rashford. I would. You do. I have not seen any manager go up against Rashford and win yet. Jose didn't. Ollie, I remember coming out and saying after a defeat, I think it was against Spurs or Villa, he needs to concentrate more on football. He's busy outside of it, but he needs to concentrate. A week later, he's coming out and apologising to Rashford in the press for what he'd said. Same with Ten Hag. I honestly, no.
Well, Rashford is honestly, he's the number one player I think you need to get rid of at that football club.
100%. 100%.
He thinks he owns the gaff. He thinks he owns the gaff, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know 100%. What I mean? It's too much therapy. Cook him, LB. I see what Dan's done, man. He's brought me into this therapy situation. Yeah, I see. Let's all do the Poznan. Says Dr. Footy. Yeah. Well, we're talking about tomorrow, bro. You have hope. What you
I did. I tell you what. Up until when this broke today, I certainly wasn't sat here saying Manchester United could go there and outplay City, but I thought, do you know what? The season we've had, a couple of players are back. It's the FA Cup final. Who knows? Anything can happen. Now, I just it's a weird one because the players are fucked either way tomorrow now. You realise that. If we lose, they'll say, well, it's Ten Hag. The Ten Hag news has completely destroyed it. Any momentum they thought they had has gone. But if they win, it will be the press coming out and saying, players playing for themselves, don't care. That was a middle finger to Ten Hag. Off he goes, new era. So I don't know, mate. I just the longer the game stays 0-0, if we can get past 12 seconds this time, then anything can happen. But I mean, you've got to be immensely confident. I mean, surely, regardless of it being a derby.
What have I gone for? Have I gone for 3-0 or 4-0? I can't remember. I've gone for 3-0 or 4-0. I'm mad confident, man. I'm not being funny here, but it's like we're playing our best football. We've already beat you twice this year, 3-1 and 3-0. And we weren't even playing our best football then. We are now playing our best football. We've got everyone fit. Yeah. The only way, there's three possible scenarios in which we can possibly lose this game. Number one, all our players are still drunk. Yeah. because they've been partying. Legit possibility that they might all just be seshed off their head. Number two, they're just really, really sort of bad on the day. Yeah, everyone has an off day. But for that to happen, like, I need my defense to have an off day, I need my midfield to have an off day, I need my striker, unlikely. Or like a game incident. We get an early red card, something like that, you know what I mean? And then obviously anything can happen, right? But I just don't see a world in which we don't win tomorrow, man. And I know it's like,
well, let's be honest. Last season, the win we had against you, I'm big enough and ugly enough to sit here and say there was controversy, everywhere in that game. The goal that should have been ruled off, that wasn't a clean 2-1 win. I remember sat here watching it with the wife and going, how the hell have we just got that goal? I jumped up and I went, oh, it's going to be offside. And when they give it, I was like, how? So it's one of them. This has to be, in my eyes, more one-sided than last season, because as you say, your form has been absolutely immense. We've stuttered and stopped. We were fortunate against Newcastle that Newcastle were just abysmal, absolutely abysmal. And then Brighton, I think, were already on the beach when we played them. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. But I can't see anything else but a loss. I can't, especially after what's happened today. I just can't. And what it's done for the fans, like these fucking leaks, LB, it pisses me off. Don't get me wrong. We love the fact the media gives us information. We absolutely love that. But it absolutely ruins what we were looking forward to as a fans. This is a one-off game. You know, we've had a shit season. Let's just put that out of our minds. Anything can happen. It's the FA Cup final. We've seen so many. No disrespect. We saw Wigan against you. We've seen Hull go 2-0 up against Arsenal. You know, we've seen these games. It can happen. But what that did today is made us all go, oh yeah, we're going to lose. Fuck it. Yeah, brilliant.
Well,
brilliant.
That is United, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? As per the stadium, it rains, it pours, man. You know what I mean? It's just constantly shite. You know what I mean? And listen, I think INEOS are in a difficult position, man, because like I've seen everyone was cooking them before about the leaks, but they didn't obviously want to leak the news. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want to leak this news. INEOS didn't wake up this morning and go, you know what? We've got FA Cup game tomorrow. Let's tell the world that he's sacked. Obviously, fucking not, man. Like they can't control a leak. They can't. You know what I mean? Everyone who knew the information at United obviously was under like NDAs and shouldn't have told people. But obviously, it's just been leaked out. It could have come from the manager. Who knows where it's
from?
The players. But the thing is, right? Here's the thing. Why did the players know? Because surely, right? If you're INEOS, you're Jim Ratcliffe, right? And you've decided that you just sacked Ten Hag. So you go to Ten Hag and his agent and you say, right, listen, you're gone at the end of the year. Right, this is what I said was going to happen anyway. You're gone at the end of the year. You're obviously going to get the FA Cup game. We're not going to sack you before the FA Cup game. You're going to get the FA Cup game and then you're going to move on. Like, why would you tell the players? I don't. Would that benefit the player? Because it is what we've been discussing this all day. Are the players going to see this as sort of motivation? Are they going to see it and say, "Oh, he's fucking gone"? Because for me, I don't really see Ten Hag as the type of manager where this would inspire the players. In my opinion, like you know, with Klopp, when Klopp announced he's leaving, like the whole city of Liverpool, fucking hell, they all got together, didn't they? Were like, we're going to do it for Klopp. If Pep announces that he's leaving City, yeah, the City fan base and the whole club will be like, right, come on, man, we need to have a mint season for Pep. With Ten Hag, it just doesn't seem like he has that connection with the players. Don't have that connection with the fans. So what? I don't know. I just don't know why the players.
Do you know though? Anyway. You say that connection with the fans, but I've not seen him have abuse once at that stadium, and there have been some, terrific, horrendous results against us. I haven't seen the fans turn on him once there. I haven't, and that's bizarre. That's bizarre because we've seen them turn on Jose. We saw them turn on Ollie. We've seen them turn on Ranić. But Ten Hag, it was a bit of a strange one. They didn't seem to turn. The other thing I would say is if I was, my respect for INEOS would be through the roof if they've done this and the United players are sat there going, as I said, yeah, another one gone, off you go. Last game of the season gets out of the way, the FA Cup, before they go on their holidays, before they go to the Euros, INEOS come in and say, I hope you enjoyed that because a lot of you are going to be gone in the summer. We are not keeping you. I would be over the moon with that. I would be absolutely over the moon because we can put this on Ten Hag. We can, of course we can. You know, we know that. We're not stupid. I know we're not pundits being paid stupid amount of money in the fucking in the studios, but we're fans. We watch them. We watch our clubs. They're not good enough. They are not good enough. And they have to take as much blame as Ten Hag for this season. I saw them against Fulham do it. I saw them against Palace do it. Walk out onto that pitch already beat. With the greatest of respect, if we are Manchester United, okay? We may not be it in results at the moment, but to play for this club, you have to understand what it means. And I don't think these players do anymore. I genuinely don't.
Well,
There's not care
anymore. I don't think you have winners anymore. You don't have winners.
I agree.
You don't have winners. I mean, even Bruno, the guy's not a winner. He's not won anything in his career. He's won a couple like Carabaos or whatever. Like he's not actually won anything. Like you don't have winners in that team. And I think you're right. I think you need a complete clear out. But I was looking through Ten Hag's signings. It's quite funny actually. I seen a clip and I wish I could find the clip again. I really need to start bookmarking stuff here. But like Ian Holloway was on like Talk Sport or something, and he says, "What makes or break a manager every single time is their signings. Because if you get the right signings, you'll be fine. If you get the wrong signings, and I went through the list of Ten Hag signings, and the only one really that you can say, there was two on there that I think you could give a little bit of like, all right, not too bad, which was Martinez, who's done all right. But even he's not done great. I don't think he's done all right. And then actually probably Johnny Evans on a free. I think that was actually quite a good deal, really. United shouldn't have been in that position where they need to give Johnny Evans a contract when he's 36 years old. But in terms of actually, the deal, everything else for me is like Casemiro did great last year, but poor signing. You know what I mean? Like, I was going through the whole list, bro, and I was like, his signings have been so bad. So bad. And I think that's what's killed him ultimately. Because he spent a lot of money, he spent 400 million quid and not got much to show for it.
I think the good news from Ten Hag going is the likes of, Anthony, Jesus Christ, he will be out of that club so fast. He will. And I think INEOS will happily take the biggest L and take the biggest, cut off on that. There's no chance they're getting half as much, maybe even a quarter as much as what they paid for him. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes out on loan to buy somewhere. He'll go. Anana, I think, will stay, LB. I think they'll give Anana another chance. I'd
give him another year. Because although he's made some horrendous mistakes, he's actually at times been pretty decent and made some good saves. And again, it's about priorities, bro. Like, Onana, for me, is not like a priority player that you need to get rid of. There are other ones in there.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. It just depends on who. Look, we're going to be linked with everyone. It happens every summer, but it's who we bring in. And the other key thing here, LB, is regardless of the Euros being on, they need to do their transfers straight away. None of this dragging out till fucking August. This has to be done straight away. It has to. If this is the new Manchester United, if this is the new way we do things, then you have to hit the ground running. You have to.
Yeah. What did you think of? I don't know if you've seen it. What did you think of? And 90 minutes after the news leaked that Ten Hag was getting sacked, one of City's main journalists, Mike Keegan at the Daily Mail, one of the most sort of ITK respected journalists for City, came out and said Manchester City have basically offered Pep Guardiola a new deal. And City are hoping that he's going to sign a long-term extension. That has to be for me. I was just speaking it with the lads earlier on before you come on. I said that has to be for me. It's probably agreed in my eyes. And as soon as City seen the news about Ten Hag, they were like, "Get this fucking news out there." You know what I mean? Rub salt in the wounds, because that's what clubs do. 100%.
Do you know something? It won't rub salt in my wounds. It'll be Arsenal fans that are crying about that, mate. It'll be Arsenal fans that are crying about that. Honestly, they've seen Klopp go, and I think we all saw the news a couple of weeks, in this last week with Pep saying it could be the end of next season, it could be. And I bet Arsenal fans were sat there going, thank God, right, now we can do it. Now we're going to do something. So, look, at the end of the day, Pep's Pep, and I think he's up there, isn't he? There's the debate about him and Fergie, but the fact that you've kept him for so long shows how much he's taken the city of Manchester into him, how much he loves the fans there. I think he's been phenomenal, hasn't he? He's been absolutely phenomenal, and that's me being completely jealous. Of course, I'm jealous. I've hated every second of it.
Yeah. Do you ever because you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Because I'm gonna ask a reverse question to a question that I always get asked. Right? I always get asked off people. Or LB, like when you was growing up and that, like, did you ever dream or did you ever imagine that City would be in this position? And I was always like, well, obviously not, man. Like we was rubbish when I was a kid, right? But like when you had Fergie, yeah, and even when he left, did you ever see the club like getting anywhere near this level? Like this is insane, bro. The drop off, like it's been a decade since you last won a Prem. And if we're being honest, yeah. It's not even out the realms of possibility that you might go another decade without winning another Prem. That's not like completely ridiculous to say. So like where like, you know what I mean? Reverse question that I always get asked.
2 points for that. So the first point is I can remember us winning it for the third time, the second time we won it 3 in a row. And I remember saying to my uncle at the time, I said, this is just getting easy now. Like this is actually getting boring. We are literally, even though some seasons kind of like you've been doing where you start a bit, start, and then it's just juggernaut towards the end. And my uncle always said to me, I remember us when we got relegated, so don't speak like that because it can turn as quick as it's gone as good as it has been. And then when Fergie left, I remember that first season and I looked and I thought, oh, fuck. We are going to struggle here, and the problem is the writing was on the wall for such a long time. There was always stories coming out when Fergie was there that he didn't really get on with the Glazers, and so when it was him and David Gill that left, And then we got the Moyes situation. I thought, nah, this is bad. And I've been a realist ever since. I remember us under Ollie going top for 3 weeks, and everyone was like, "That's it, here we go." And I was like, "Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. You know, the season isn't over." I think it was you that said, "You're in a title race until you're not in a title race." But don't think you're in a title race when you are a point ahead for 3 weeks in the middle of January. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk.
Yeah, it is a madness. It is a madness. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. Over 350 people tuned in. Let's get those likes up, man. 6 people away from 250 likes. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. And also, make sure you're following Dan's TikTok. United first. I'll get that linked actually. What are you saying? That's something you comment this morning.
Mate, I put, oh mate, that was horrendous. I'm starting to get Africa. Actually, my wife's in the room with me, so I better not say too much. But I'm getting these like women, these really random women messaging me saying they want to come and live in England, and can I message them back and meet them? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, is that what being a Manchester United fan's doing to people at the moment? Jesus. But the video I did before about Ten Hag, honestly, mate, and this is the bit of TikTok I love. I put that comment, I put that video up there, and straight away I got someone come up to me and say, "Who the fuck are you, and how do you think you know this stuff?" And I was like, "Just look on the fucking news, mate."
Bro, TikTok is the most toxic app there is. Bro, should we have a look at the comments on it? Let me have a look at the comments, man. Let me have a look at the comments on your TikTok, bro. How do I...
How many views has it got, mate? I think there's a few on there. 20k in there. That's good.
Yeah, 24k. I don't get the I don't know if I can get the comments up, man. You see the comments there? So Nico says, "You haven't got brilliant. One prediction right this season. Just clickbait."
Look at the reply. Look at the reply. Look at the reply.
See, I said we play in red ones. I think you're 5 days behind. It's been getting said for days now. But the news broke today. What are they on about? Says who?
There's so many, mate. Some of them are really good, but some of them, they just come for you straight away. And the thing is, I think they think that I'm portraying myself as in the know. I'm not. I'm reacting to what I see. Do you know what I mean?
None of these guys must have Twitter then, innit?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. No real sources for this. What? This is not true. This isn't true.
It's the ones that can't spell. It's the ones that can't spell that do me. Come through from where?
Honestly, man, like what people just live in their own world. They just live on TikTok. They just
not
live
very
on
flattering.
TikTok, Another video with no evidence. Honestly, man, TikTok is like.
Look, I love that one from Paul Greggs. Look at the one from Paul Greggs. He goes, I go.
Oh my days! It's all
noise.
Not happened.
I don't know why you think. Oh, there we go.
There you go. That's what you were saying before, wasn't it? The players win again.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, like TikTok is just the craziest app, bro. Like people just like must be so angry who use TikTok. It's unreal. I don't get how you can just get like so annoyed at someone just saying something, even when like they just it's crazy, bro.
Do you know what the worst thing is about my TikTok? So I'm a Sunday League manager as well, and I start every video with Manchester United fans. We played a team, right, and they were hammering us. When the 5th goal went in, they were all going, Manchester United fans! 6th goal, Manchester United! I was like, fuck off. Just fuck off.
Yeah, it's crazy. Did you see that TikTok's getting banned, apparently, in America? How mad is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, TikTok banned. USA. There you go. Your video app TikTok could be banned in the US unless it's sold by the Chinese company ByteDance.
Oh, I saw this because he's not from China, is he? Is he Filipino or something? And
Oh
the
my
Senate had him.
god, bro, that was the most cringiest thing I ever seen, bro.
Do you remember
Was
it?
that
Do you remember
is
it?
that not like low key racist, bro?
Yeah. So where are you
Oh
from? I'm
my,
Filipino. But
nah,
were
Singapore. He's
were
from
you born
Singapore,
Singapore?
and he was
Singapore.
like,
That was it.
I'm Singaporean, bro, and the guy was just like, have you ever been in the Chinese Communist Party? And he's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
Singaporean. I've served my country in the army in Singapore, and he's like, are you Chinese? And he's just like, bro, you're just asking this guy if he's Chinese, bro. He's telling you hundreds of times he's from Singapore.
Yeah. It's mad. It's mad. That's what they do, though, isn't it?
It's insane, man. It's insane. That app is crazy, bro. I need to start uploading, man, because I was actually doing all right on there, you know. I was getting like 30, 40K views, but I just couldn't be. I did it for 3 days, and I was just like, I just massively just was like, I cannot be arsed with this. I cannot be arsed. You know what I mean? And like you say, bro, the comment section on TikTok videos, man, it's just like everyone's so angry on that app. Everyone is so
Honestly,
angry. Like, I don't know what's wrong with people who use TikTok, man. Like, why everyone's
there's
just
no
so angry
filter.
for? No, there's no
There's
filter,
no
man.
filter on it.
Everyone's just like proper angry. What's wrong with everyone's lives where everyone who uses TikTok is just angry, man?
Yeah. I agree. And also, what annoys me is you see the mums who haven't got a job are just sat there doing the lives with the other mums who haven't got a job, and it's just, you listen to them talk, and you're thinking, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I've never
Horrendous.
actually seen like a live stream on TikTok. I don't use TikTok, man. I use Instagram for my fucking brain rot exercise. You know what I mean? Of scrolling up and down. I use Instagram Reels. So I don't actually go on TikTok. I don't use it, man. But yeah, a lot of people like get like pure views on there, innit? You know what I mean? But I don't know why. There
Yeah.
must be something about social media, especially like TikTok, that just makes people be angry.
I
It's
agree.
weird. I don't know, man. But you know what? I love the people who. Have you heard of something called rage baiting? Rage bait. So rage baiting. I found about this the other day. Rage bait is when basically you post something online to bait people into getting rage.
Okay.
Like and like there's quite a lot of people on like these apps who do this rage baiting. So like they'll purposely post stuff on there where they know they're gonna get like comments and stuff because obviously then they'll get big. And there was this one woman, yeah, she's called Bad Mum or something like that, right? And she triggers people so hard. So basically, right, she was making a packed lunch for a kid, yeah. She put a red, like a kid's obviously like a packed lunch in a little lunch box. Obviously, the kid must have been like 10 or something. She put a can of Red Bull, a vape, and like some other stuff in the thing. And she's like, she's got a phone out. Right? She's like this. She got a phone out. She's like, hey, TikTok, pack my kid's lunchbox with me. And then she gets a fucking Red Bull and puts it in the thing. She gets a vape and puts it in the thing. And then everyone in the comments is just like, yeah, you're fucking average, I'm gonna kill your kid. I'm like, she's playing the best game, man. You know what I mean? She's making, I don't know how much money you make on TikTok because I don't know how you get even monetized on it, but she must be making decent cash on there. And people like her and other people, all they do is just post stuff to wind people up, yeah. And people fall for it all the time. Like, so I don't know if you've seen it. I actually find it quite funny, me, when people rage bait and I see the comments and see you guys are all getting like merch from it. I don't know if you've seen the clip of, is it #United?
Yeah.
Is that the not #United? It's another account where basically like it's non-league football, but they film it on, like they upload shorts.
Bunch of amateurs.
Is that what it is? Right. And
Is it Dorking?
Dorking, I think it is. Yeah. And basically, right, there was this guy, he got a corner. Yeah, he got a corner.
Yes, I've seen it.
Have you seen it? Let me. How can I find that, Dan? What can I type in on YouTube? For that? Dorking player takes corner.
Yeah. Because the funny thing about that is you got they're all going mental, and by the third time he does it, there's one fan actually just applauding it because he knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, bro, I found it. Let me bring this up. All right, guys, this is amazing. Look at this guy. This guy's rage baiting, yeah, but IRL, he's doing it in real life. Yeah, watch this.
The resulting corner gives Dorking's chief houser, Luke Moore, a chance to provoke an easily riled away end. Bearing in mind, this is all really
Look how far the ball's out the thing. So obviously he's doing it on purpose.
a small plastic football
Look at him.
being a few inches
Look at
to
him.
the side of a white line.
He's fuming.
The
Look
most
at that guy,
outraged
he's
of the
so
lot,
annoyed.
desperate in his pleas to the referee, who
He's
just isn't
fuming.
listening. We really like this guy because he genuinely couldn't give a flying. And Luke himself knows exactly what he's doing.
Look
He's
at him.
giving us good
He knows
content.
what he's
Thanks,
doing,
Luke.
man.
When Moro does eventually accept that the ball is outside of the quadrant, he takes the housery to the next level.
Look. This guy is the TikTok commenter. He's the guy on TikTok who's fucking going sick at everyone, isn't it?
For whatever reason, the referee wasn't ready, so Moro's left in the corner for even longer. I think we all know where Luke is going with this.
What's the guy with the glasses?
Look,
This guy
he
gets
gets
it.
it. He gets it. He knows. He's not falling for it, man. He doesn't have TikTok, that guy. He knows exactly what's happened there. But that is what I'm saying. Like, how do people get so angry, man? It's insane, bro. Honestly, it's actually crazy, bro.
You haven't seen me watching the football, mate. Honestly, Christ, I go. I get so much stick for it. My dad won't watch a football game with me in a pub anymore. He's refused point blank. I get that angry.
Yeah. What did you make? Let me ask you a question. What did you make of Gary Neville coming out saying, "Why are City fans getting on the pitch after they won the title?"
Yeah. I don't understand this argument with that anyway. For stuff as big as what the achievement is, I don't understand. Look, it's passion. It's the right passion we want to see in football. It's fans having a good time. We've seen. That's one thing I love about when you look further down the league, and when teams stay up and they run on the pitches. I love that. What are we doing? Do we need to start putting fences there to stop fans doing it? Is that what they want? Do they want to kill the game even more? Do they want to take the passion away even more?
I just think that, like, why is he being boring for? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. It's strange, man. Like, he's just
have we had a response from him yet? Has he had a view? Has he had a view on this yet about Ten Hag going? I haven't seen anything.
Neville will be gutted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Neville took the what's it called? The Goldbridge approach of, Defo can't go, all this kind of stuff. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know.
Goldbridge is fuming, absolutely fuming.
Yeah, I don't know, something dodgy going on there, in my view. Like, you can be Ten Hag in if you want, but to be so angry.
Yeah, but isn't it obvious? I mean, there's no way that he gets the interview with Haaland if the manager doesn't agree to it. There's no way Haaland's not told Ten Hag that. There's no way. There's something there. I'm not saying he's in connection with Ten Hag at all, but there's something there, because a club doesn't allow a player to go on a fan's YouTube channel unless there's something there.
Yeah, I don't know. Very, very, very weird. Very weird. But that's to see who you get now, isn't it? I'm interested to see who you get now. If it is McKenna,
mate. It'll be announced next week. It'll go on the Sunday. It'll be announced on the Monday or the Tuesday. Guarantee it.
Yeah, interesting.
Guarantee it. But never mind. What can you do?
I know. Hey, I'm buzzing about the drinks. For people that was wondering why me and Dan are in the same room. We're going out to Nottingham, aren't we, bro? That's going to be good, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna get
you that shit face. I get a picture of you in your United shirt when you're asleep. I'm telling you now, that's happening.
I'm pretty sure there's like a law against that, bro.
Tough shit. Don't care. Sue me.
Let me have a look at the Euro 2024 games are on that day. It's the day after England, isn't it?
Isn't it Spain, Holland, or is it something like that that we get?
No. It's Slovenia, Ukraine, Poland, Austria, Oh wait, no, is it Friday we go?
Friday, yeah.
Yeah. Slovakia versus Ukraine, Poland versus Austria, and Netherlands versus France.
France, that's it. It'll be a good game, that will. Be a good game.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm buzzing for that, man. I'm buzzing. It's gonna be decent. What do you think about the Euros?
It's coming home, mate, as always. I don't know how up until 2 or 3 weeks before, well, up until a month before, I'm like, no, we're not doing anything. Then I don't know. 3 Lions goes on in my car, and that's it. I'm back to thinking it's coming home again. It's going to be France, isn't it?
I might have
France's
to
team
listen
are
to
just.
it. I'm gonna listen to it after this stream. Get me in the mood for it. It'll get me in the mood for it. It will. Hey, big up to Doug, man. Sorry, bro, I didn't see that. Says, good evening, LB and Dan. With Ten Hag's last game tomorrow, who does Dan want to replace Ten Hag? Interesting question.
Oh, I've said before. Nice to see you, Doug, as well. I would absolutely 100% love Diego Simeone. I would. I think he'd come in there and just cause so much carnage and get rid of so much shit. I really do.
He'd fuck it up, but in a good way, wouldn't he?
100%. And
Because he'd have the authority to do it.
Yeah. And who's going to argue with him? Who's going to? And you look at all the interviews with ex-players who've played under Simeone. He's a winner. He wants to win. Simple as that. Nothing else comes close to it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It's interesting how no one goes for Simeone. Now, it might be because he's the highest paid manager in the world. He's on £10 million more than Pep Guardiola, which is insane. But it is weird how no one's ever tested the waters because, you thought Chelsea would have gone for him a few years ago, United, Liverpool, Arsenal. No one's ever fancied him, and I don't really know why.
And I'd still take Ancelotti now. I don't care how old he is. I'd still take him now. I'd love Ancelotti. We should have gone for Ancelotti when Fergie left when he first left.
Yeah. Well, it's funny enough actually you say that because someone in the chat yesterday was because we were speaking about Pep and who we get after Pep, and someone in the chat says apparently Pep's going to be involved in the decision. And I said, that's what Fergie did, and Fergie decided not to get Pep Guardiola and to get David Moyes. Now, I'm not saying obviously if Pep gets involved, he'll make such a horrendous decision, but I just feel like the person who makes that decision should be the person whose job it is to actually make that decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And like you said, that INEOS are doing this the way they want to do it. So they've come in and made that decision. It's as simple as that. You've got to be able to take ownership on the decision. We haven't got it right in the past, and who knows? Maybe it'll come right. Like I said, this could be we could look back on this in 5 years' time and say, "Oh my God, what an inspired decision." My feeling about it is, I think in 12 months we're going to look back and go, "Right then, who are we getting next then?" I honestly do, because this guy has got to hit the ground. He has to. I don't think INEOS will give him, a season to have shit. We've already had that this season. Manchester United will have to qualify for European football next season. They have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at your fan base, bro. Look at this. INEOS is worse than the Glazers.
It'll be the same channel that if we win something next season, he'll be saying INEOS saved the day. It's same old.
It's insane, man. And football's mad. Do you not think football's crazy nowadays?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's actually insane. Guys, if you've got any questions for myself or Dan, we'll wrap up with the sort of Q&A section. So whack your questions in the chat if you have any about City, about United, about England, about transfers. Send your questions in, and we'll get them asked before we wrap up. But what are you up to this weekend, man? Other than where you watching? You going pub tomorrow? Or are you watching at home?
Mate, I got end of season due for my Sunday League football team tomorrow, so that's at 1. And then it's horrendous. 5 of my lads are City fans. Can't even begin.
Wait, you have 5 City fans in where you live?
Yeah. There's loads, mate. There's loads.
We are massive nowadays.
There's loads of them.
Someone sent me a picture the other day. He was in Turkey on holiday. There's a Manchester City bar, just an actual just a random bar in Turkey that's called the Manchester City pub. And it's what the fuck is going on?
It's but that's going to happen, isn't it? It's always going. You're always going to grow, globally with the success that you've got.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of these questions. Big Up Hatter says, Dan, what City player you fear the most for tomorrow?
Foden all day long. Has to be Foden. I think Foden's been just scary good this season.
Yeah. Nah, facts. Let's have a look what else you guys are saying. Oh, yeah, this one. Dan, what are your thoughts if City get Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle? You think it's a good signing for City or not?
Just another piece in a massive puzzle, in a massively successful puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah, man. There you go. Big up, Des. Big up, bro. Who is the better footballer, David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne? I've said Kevin De Bruyne is the best player that's ever played for Man City. In my opinion.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean it's a bit harsh on Madden that played for you up top, but yeah, I think I think De Bruyne 100%.
What do you guys think the scoreline will be tomorrow? Honest opinions. I'm gonna go 3-0. City, obviously.
I don't even want to do this. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say 2-1 City. I'm gonna hope we get an early goal and do something, but it's a City win tomorrow, regardless.
Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna sign a striker? Or is Haaland the guy? Says Chris Kirk.
Yeah, I think we will sign a striker, and no, I don't think Haaland is a guy yet. I think if he's coached right and if he grows right, I think he could be somewhere near. The thing is, what is the guy? Are we measuring it to Haaland because Haaland is the guy? Well, then you're not going to get anyone, are you? But I do think we'll sign another striker. We have to because Martial's. I know Martial hasn't played this season, but with Martial going, he will be our only recognised striker. So you need, back in the day, I remember when United used to have 2 or 3 in every position. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll sign a striker. And no, Haaland isn't the guy yet, I'm going to say.
Cool. Well, there we go, guys. I will be live. When does LB and Dan talk shit about TikTok become a regular show? No, we actually do Friday night shows every once in a while where we just chat shit. So yeah, like every few weeks.
We should go live when we should go live, mate, on that Friday.
Oh shit! I don't think on this channel I get fucking deleted. Yeah, guys, make sure you're following Dan on his TikTok United First. Link in the description. I'll be live tomorrow, an hour before kickoff, so 2 p.m. Obviously for the pre-match build-up of tomorrow's game, and then hopefully we can celebrate after another quad. You know what I mean? People forget that we've already won 2 trophies earlier on in the season. The Club World Cup and the Super Cup, innit? So yeah, big up, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it. No problem, Melby. No problem, mate. Nice to see you as always. And big shout out to your fan base as well. They're always quite polite to me. They seem to be okay with me, I think. Yeah, big up. My chat's goated. Guys, smash a like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m, guys. Make sure you join me. It's going to be a cracker. City versus United, FA Cup final. We will be there. See you later.